Welcome to the Richard Sherman podcast. If you're new, hit that sub button. We're here to give you great NFL content. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Richard Sherman podcast, and we got an incredible guest, two-time Super Bowl champion, Stanford man, Justin Reid.
Boy? Appreciate you having me on the show, bro.
Appreciate you joining me, man. It's my pleasure. So how you feeling? I mean, you leave Houston, you get to Kansas City, replacing the Honey Badger, and then you get 2 rings later. And I mean, you gotta just feel like it's been a blessing.
Nah, I feel on top of the world, bro. 2 chasing the third. Was a totally different experience. My first 2 years in Houston, my time in Houston overall was good, and I enjoyed it there. But first 2 years were really good. We're a competitive team. Next 2 years, not so much. 4-12, 2 years in a row. But then to come into an organization with so much momentum and so much structure, and just to be able to be a piece of that and try and add my spin and my personality to it as well. Been a ton of fun. It's a ride that is still going on strong, and happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, y'all 7-0. Y'all been in some dogfights of games, and we got to talk to Trent McDuffie earlier this season, and he just talked about the culture and how nobody ever flinches, nobody ever
There's no finger pointing.
Right.
Yeah. There's no what's really cool is how close, like the actual definition of team and how much of a team we are, that we have each other's back. Something goes wrong, we're encouraging the man, trying to pick him back up. We have an injury, we encourage and get the next man ready. There's no selfishness, there's no ego. It doesn't matter who gets the stats. What matters is just how we can all do our part to try and help each other succeed. If I got to take on, this block or grab this attention so that the next man can get a sack, everybody is on board with doing that, and it shows up with the way that Spags calls the defenses. And, it just makes it a lot more fun to win. And the games aren't easy. It never is. But honestly, I think we'll be better for it, because when situations are tough and, when shit hits the fan, you got to be ready to handle that, and I think that we're getting some valuable work at that, and it's going to serve us in the long run.
Talk about Spags as a DC. I mean, you've been there for 2 years, dealt with him in regular season and dealt with him in playoff situations, Super Bowl situations. Just talk about his preparation and his demeanor, because he's arguably the best doing it right now. And obviously you guys are incredibly prepared every week.
The ultimate leader, the ultimate mentor, the ultimate man of faith. But really, it's his mentorship. Like he comes about things from a deeply educational and I'll coach you to do things the right way. You do it this way, and his defense is going to work. He spends so much time in the film room, and he cares about his guys and using guys' strengths to put them in the right situations. And he has that effect that legendary coaches have, in which you want to do right by him. Like, you want to make him proud. You want to do things in a way and in the vision that he sees things. And you just know it's going to work. But he pulls guys to the side one-on-one during practice to do individual drills with each guy on something that he thinks they can work with. He'll pull guys in one-on-one in the meetings over tape. And then the playbook is so deep. By far the deepest defensive playbook that I've experienced out of 4 different defensive coordinators, that he's always going to throw something new at whoever we're playing every week. So it's hard for teams to be prepared for it.
No question. I mean, when some of the looks, some of the pressures you guys bring, who's pressuring, I mean, it looks like you guys reset your playbook every single week. It doesn't look the same week to week. And I know people have variety, but I mean, it almost looks like totally different schemes at times.
Bro, we have 20 different versions of cover 0, and that is not an exaggerated number.
Oh my God.
That is not an exaggerated number, bro. And then we have fire zones, we have tangos, we have half fire zone, half cover 2s, cover 3s, cover 1s, cover 5s, coverages that switch from one coverage to the next coverage with motion or alignments, coverage checks on if the quarterback is in gun or if he's under center. We will check into a blitz, we'll check out of a blitz. Bro, like every week is just so different. And I think that the other strength is that we have the guys that can handle that informational load and get everyone on the same page so there isn't coverage bust.
Walk me through your interception against San Francisco, because I still couldn't figure out what y'all were in that one.
Yeah, so that was the alternative version of a cover one, to where we know San Fran, they run a coverage with check and with Kittle, to where they kind of use those guys interchangeably. One guy might be a fullback, one guy might be a tight end. We want to do some things when we give certain looks that they're an I formation that would allow one guy to maybe slough off and be like a robber technique, let the linebackers take him. But if he's stretched out wide, then we'd have a defensive back
Don't give
cover
too
him for.
much, by the way. I don't want to,
Yeah, I'm
get
saying,
nobody in
and we're
trouble.
not we're not going. I mean, this yeah, but anyway, it was the alternative version of a cover one. We had Chamari Garden Kittle. B Cook rolls down from the two shell. We tried to hold the two shell as much as possible, just not give it away that we're in one high. And we knew out of the film study and formation recognition that they were in the eye backs. They like play action out of it. Ran the play action. I saw George Karlaftis have pressure in Brock's face. And what I was taught actually back from my days with Lovie Smith was if you're in the post and a quarterback has pressure in his face, you can dive out of the post. So saw that he had pressure in his face. That gave me the green light that I can dive out of the post, saw the over route by Kittle and just went and robbed it.
Boy, I love a coachable player. I love a coachable guy. I'm sure Spags loves it too. Such an instinctive play, and that's so much of what football comes down to because people are like, what coordinator was it? What did he do? That must have been something crazy. And it's like, no, sometimes it's just players making plays, doing what we were coached to do, and sometimes doing what we weren't coached to do and just making it happen.
It could happen
We
anyway. Yeah. Hey,
right.
they call it a feel for the game. This is a feel for the game.
Just a feel. We go to the sideline sometimes and coaches are like, what did y'all do right there? It's like, don't worry about it. That's why we play the game. Just interception. You wanted it that right. Yeah, we'll talk about it in the film room. Like
And
you
bro, what
got
makes it so cool too is man, I love having smart players around me, bro, because you're always going to get some that you maybe didn't see on tape or it's a little bit different, and to be able to fix things on the fly and play off of each other and still get it done. And then you come to the sideline and you talk about it, and it's like, hey, that worked, man. We can do it that way from now on.
right, right. Let's do that one again.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love you guys just seem to do a great job developing players too. I mean, even when rookies come in, they'll be sitting there, some low drafted or undrafted rookie corner or nickel or safety, and they are balling. They getting books. They in the right spots. They're making plays, and it's just like no matter what happens in this defense, outside of when Chris Jones wasn't there, because it's a whole
Yeah.
different defense when he ain't in there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
outside of that, it just seems like no matter what happens, somebody goes down, twists the ankle, they bring somebody else in, and they playing at a high level. Next person, high level. Next person, high level. I was like, God, these boys, it does
And
not
that's
matter.
really training camp, bro. That's Andy Reid, Andy Reid training camps because, bro, we hammer it with the plays. Like it was a little bit of a shock for me my first training camp with them because of the sheer volume of running and plays run in a practice. It'd be well over 100 plays just on one side of the ball each practice, bro. And yeah, you got to prepare for it. Like it's not for the faint of heart, bro. Like you have no choice to be on your recovery, on the details, and you get a lot of reps at it, which I think allows us to be multiple in the long run.
No question. The more things you see. I mean, it's more reps is more reps. That's one thing Harbaugh said that I cannot argue with. More is more. And it seems like you don't always need that much, but he used to split fields. Ones and twos, offense and defense over here. Ones and twos, offense and defense over here. And we going at the same time. Film both of them.
Uh-huh.
Like we're gonna maximize this, and we still practicing for 3 hours. So just
Yep.
just be out there, get ready for
Yep.
that.
Yep. Yep.
Talk about playing with Pat and what he's meant. Obviously, everybody sees the stuff that he does on the field, play the game at a high level. But you came from the outside into him in his prime, so I know that had to be just crazy.
Yeah, couple things about Pat. One is how humble of a dude that he is in real life. He is not a guy that puts himself on a pedestal. He's not a guy that, walks around like he's any better than anyone else. Although we know he's the best player in football. But just a guy that's very approachable. Anyone can talk to him. And I think his work ethic and his consistency help build the culture of the whole team. Because when your best players like that, then everybody else is on the same page too. If Pat's going to work that hard and be humble and be willing to do whatever it takes to win. Everybody else doesn't have a choice but to fall in line and do the same thing. And he's just a gamer, bro. Like it doesn't always have to be pretty, but he'll find a way to get the job done and make it work.
Yeah, he's been doing that. He does. He's a winner, and winners win, and that's what y'all are continuing to do. I mean, a lot of people would say you guys are more of a defensive team now, but it does not change the fact that he's the best quarterback and best player in football.
The roller coaster of an NFL season is moving right along, and it promises to be a month full of tricks, treats, and of course, touchdowns. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Running it in from the one or on an 80-yard bomb, we don't care how they score touchdowns. We just want to bet on them. DraftKings heard us, and they are delivering. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Here's a reason for new customers to do a touchdown dance of their own. Bet just $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code RICHARD. That's code RICHARD for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
It's football season, and you can now get almost anything you need delivered by Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a running back delivered, but you can get baby back ribs delivered. A strong defense? That's a no. But a strong deodorant? That's a yes. A 6-pack of abs? Definitely no. But a 6-pack of beers? Uber Eats can get you that. There you have it. You can get almost anything for game day delivered with Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details. Talk about your battles with Travis, because he a different beast too. He got a lot more wiggle than you would think for a man his size.
Yeah. And bro, it catches everybody off guard the first time they guard him, bro, because like he'll cut off his inside foot, he'll do like what he's and this is the part that's not spoken about, bro. How smart he is on the on the football field, bro. Because he has the awareness to know that, hey, I know what the other guys around me are running these routes, and I'm not a guy that's gonna run into being covered. You know, some guys, you call a 7 route, they're gonna run that 7 route, even if there's 2 defenders sitting out there. But he will sometimes change his route on the fly. Bro, but he knows not to get in anyone else's lane, and he just gets open, and him and 15 had that connection, and it is impossible to guard. But I remember when I was playing with Houston, 2019 playoff game in Kansas City, and I got a formation, and I was guarding him, and I knew it. I seen this play over and over again. I knew he was doing an out route, bro. He did an out pivot on me, and it changed everything it messed up my entire game plan, because I was like, I can't even trust my film study the whole week, because I knew that there was this play, and then he just, he made it something else. And I think that's the underspoken part about his game, and then of course the laterals and stuff that always keeps people on their toes. But
yeah, and every time on TV, they're like, I think that was designed. That was not designed. There ain't nobody designing no play where you throw that over 30 yards.
Knows when Trav have the ball, and he see you open, he might throw it to you.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. I saw that route. I think Justin Jefferson ran it against Gilly, where he ran like a whip route and then whip back out. And I was like, bro, if they running routes like this, y'all got it.
Because... Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. They getting different. I just seen a route on film today. I think it was who was it? It was anyway, the route was he ran a curl. He ran like a stutter go, but it was a curl like a whirly bird go to a second whirly bird go. Like it was 2 whirly birds. Like he did, like you would think it was like a whirly bird fade route, or anything at the most, it's a whirly bird curl route. He did 2 whirly bird, fade.
Bro, I'm fighting Oak C. I'm taking my helmet off, walking up into the booth. We gonna have to fight because you disrespecting me right now,
bro. On me. Somebody got to blitz. Somebody got to blitz the quarterback, bro.
Bro, we were playing Kansas City, and I'm sure you've seen it a lot of times now because you're with them. They ran 7 pump curls in the Super Bowl. We'd never seen it before. I've seen 7 pumps. I've seen kite routes. I've never seen a 7 pump curl back down.
Yeah.
And of course they running with Tyreek because he's the one that can
it's
with
fast
enough
enough to
speed to do it.
Yeah.
I'm running. I'm like, we in cover 2. So I'm like, I'm giving some depth to my safety because I'm like, I'm not about to leave you 1-on-1 with Tyreek.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just going I'm gonna play as deep as I can and we'll come back and rally to everything. And so he runs the 7. I'm there in the window. He runs the pump. I'm like, hey, I'm
That's
still
on you.
here,
Yeah,
kind of,
that's on you
but
at that
that's on
point.
you. You got to run. If you do anything else, that will put his foot in the ground and came back. I said, oh, it's different. It's different. This the hole. It's the hole in the defense.
Bro, they're getting creative, bro. Coaches be in the lab.
They are in the lab, and these offensive lines are getting away with a lot more holding than they should. But that's a story for a different day, because the league wants the quarterbacks protected. So.
Yeah, you want points on the board. We get it.
Right.
We get it. Yeah.
What's going on with our Cardinal, man?
Oh. Man. You know what? I went to the SMU game, and yeah, that game was a little bit tough. I mean, they're so injured right now, though. First string corners, both of them hurt. Second string corners, both of the second string corners hurt. Kind of just feel it for the true freshman guy that got thrown out there, and they had a game plan and they executed on it. First play of the game, RPO slant to the house, and it was like it just didn't get much better from there.
And they brought us all out for the TCU game because Toby was going in the Hall of Fame, and you had me there, Luck, all the old guys.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting there watching, and it was a drubbing, and it just didn't look like they belonged out there with them at times.
Yeah.
And people are like, "What's wrong? How is the NIL affecting them this much?" I said, "It's the NIL along with a lot of other factors that were already issues."
I mean, what makes it so extremely tough, aside from the NIL, which Stanford needs to catch up on, and they want to compete with the big boys. They gotta play the game that's being played right now. But what's also hard is just the transfer portal. And that Stanford only allows guys to transfer in if they were already accepted into the school as an undergraduate, unless you are going to graduate school. So, I mean, they kind of get hit twice because the NIL in the first place, then guys are leaving and you can't get talent back in because they weren't already approved. It's a recipe that needs to be fixed.
Right, and they're not going to fix it because they don't care enough to fix it.
Yeah.
And we could call Bernard and do everything we can. They're like, hey, why don't you get back involved? Because Andrew's running the collective now and doing the NIL stuff, and they're like, hey, they want to give money. People are donating a lot of money, but they want to give it to football. But the AD says we got to spread it evenly, and Stanford, we're going to do things fairly. And the rest of the world ain't doing it fair. And
yeah. And you put yourself in the box, and it's going to be hard to keep up.
Yeah, it is. But when is your little one supposed to be here?
So baby girl on the way, should be here late January, early February. Super excited about that. Can't wait to welcome her. And I actually have like 10 nieces and nephews, so I'm used to kids.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, this will be my first. So
if that math is right, you're gonna have a problem that I had.
Yeah, tell me about it. What's that?
So we were facing the Patriots in the Super Bowl, our second one, and my son was due game day. He was due game day, and so we were in Arizona. We had to go to hospital, get hospitals, and everybody ready. Had to have an ambulance standing by and everything. So my wife was like, "We going to the game? Like, I'm not missing this. We didn't do all this just for you to get here and not go to the game. I'm coming." And I said, but what about the? All right, as you know, happy wife, happy life, or whatever they say. And so she held him in there, and we played the game, and we lost that last second game. And we get on the plane, and she gets on the plane because the family got a separate plane. She's like, bro, I have cramps. Thankfully, it was a short flight. He came a day later.
Wow. Yeah, the only positive is that, Super Bowl's in New Orleans, so home state, have a lot of family that's there, so there is a lot of support there already. So that's the one thing that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, I mean, you kind of got to do what you got to do in those situations.
I'm telling you to put some things in place. You might want to make some, just in case phone calls in those playoffs, and not to jinx anything or predict anything, but if things are going the way you expect, just get ahead of it, because you don't want to run into a situation you sitting there focused on that during that week, and that's what you end up doing, because that's the most important thing to you. You didn't want 2 Super Bowls. You ain't never had a baby.
Yeah.
All right, watch your wife,
Exactly.
baby.
Right.
Right. We don't do nothing.
Hey,
We do the easy part, as they say.
I don't know. Just be a biggest cheerleader. You
That's
got it,
it.
babe. I
That's
see you.
it.
You're doing great.
If you can possibly be there, though, in that room with her, make sure you're there. Now, the game and everything else, she gonna want to come, and I'm sure you and your wife have the same relationships to the game that me and mine had. But if you can be in that room with her, boy, it means something. It
Yeah.
definitely means something.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel you. So did you watch?
I pulled them out.
Oh.
I pulled both of them out, and so I got kind of tricked into it. I got duped, but it's great now. In the end, I just be like,
That's a hell
I
of a
pulled both
story.
of you.
Yeah,
Right.
that's one hell of a story.
So we had a midwife, and we're at the hospital and everything. We're not doing a home birth or anything, but the midwife's there. My wife had just got the epidural and the pitocin, which helps the contractions and everything, helps
Yeah.
everything get going. And so I'm like helping, you know what I mean? She's like, hey, could you do this? Could you do this? I'm running around. Like, what else can I do? And she's like, all right, I can see hair. Like, the hair's coming out. And I'm like, okay. Like, what do you need me to, you know what I mean? What you want me to back you up? I'm backing
Yeah.
you up. And she's like, yeah, just stand next to me. And then she was like, you see the hair? And I was like, yeah. She was like, just put your hand right here and hold this for me. I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm holding. And she's like, yeah, now just work the head out a little bit. And I'm like, wait a minute. And she
Yeah.
started backing up. I'm like, oh, no. I'm in it now.
Yeah.
And so I
Now
work
you
it
in
out a
there,
little bit.
strapped in.
His shoulders popped out, and then he was in my hands.
Yeah.
And that was what it was. And then,
Wow.
it felt cool because I was the first person to see him. And then I gave him to his mama, and he got, start eating, and they cut the umbilical cord. But after that, for my daughter, it was kind of like I had to.
Yeah. Right. That's cool though.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool on her part that she set you up like that to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really cool. It was a little, you know how it locked me straight into game mode though. Like I immediately went, lock in.
Yeah. You know what they
Oh,
say,
man.
hey, don't drop that football.
Do not drop it. Do not drop it. Oh man, I do not drop those. And for all you gamers out there, get ready because Call of Duty is back. Forced to go rogue, hunted from within. This is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Developed by Treyarch and Raven, Black Ops 6 is a mind-bending narrative. And unbound by the rules of engagement, this is signature Black Ops. Dynamic moment-to-moment gameplay, including a variety of play spaces with blockbuster set pieces and action-packed moments. High-stakes heists, and cloak and dagger spy activity. Best in class multiplayer experience. You will test your skills across 16 new maps at launch, including 12 core 6v6 maps and 4 strike maps that can be played 2v2 or 6v6, marking the epic return of round-based zombies, the fan favorite mode where players will take down hordes of undead in 2 brand new maps at launch. You can look forward to even more exciting maps and groundbreaking experiences dropping on both multiplayer and zombies. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is a spy action thriller set in the 90s by the end of the Cold War and the rise of the United States as a single superpower. Head over to callofduty.com/Black Ops 6 and get in the game. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 available now, rated M for mature. I love it, man. You got any questions for me? I feel like we never get to talk. We always running through and transition.
Nah, man. I mean, two quick ones, I guess, is a little bit life on the other side. Like, what was that first year like transitioning out, and how did you, I guess, fill up your time? Because football consumes so much time of our daily lives. I mean, we go on 6 days a week, and then how do you kind of fill that in? And then secondly, I don't know if you play chess or not, though. If you play, we need to get a game in, man.
Look, we're gonna exchange numbers, and I'm a game pigeon you a chess game in a second,
There
right
it
after
is.
we get
Yeah.
off. But that's the hardest part, and you'll hear this from every single person that got out of the game. Isn't missing a game. I don't think, you know what I mean? Everybody misses it. It's just something you've done your whole life. But it's the structure. It's the lack of structure, the lack of routine, the lack of schedule. And so if you get out the game and you have a plan, and say you want to go into real estate and you're like, hey, from 12 to 2, I'm going to be, researching houses. And then from 2 to 4, I'm going to be working out. And then
Yeah.
and you set up a routine, or you go work a job and they set up a schedule for you. But people's brains, for some reason in our field, get
Yeah.
chaotic without it because you've had it for so long. You knew what
Yeah.
time you had to live, what time you had to be at class, what time you had to work out, what time you
Yeah,
had to
talk
practice.
about the food part of it too, because it's kind of nice that they did breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and
No question. No question. Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of it. It's just going to the facility and you just got everything,
yeah,
You get to work out, you get to training room, you got, and you got a lot of random machines. I got a lot of, like, I got a hyperbaric chamber in there, and I'm like, what am I going to use this for now? Like, I use it.
yeah,
I feel like I got my use out of it, but I got like 3 Norma techs and 2
yeah,
game readies. Like, I was way too prepared. But it's just the structure. So when I was starting to get to the tail end, and I felt like my body was kind of breaking down more than I would like, I
hmm
started talking to companies. I went to the broadcast boot camp, and got a chance to learn and experience what it feels like to call the game and just get coached up and critiqued. But a lot of the executives from NBC, CBS, the television networks, and of course Amazon were there. So I started to talk to Amazon probably 2 years before they even had a game, and so I had that in place. At least that opportunity to potentially be on that desk in place before I was done playing. So when I was done playing, it was just going and really doing it.
yeah,
And it was something I was nervous about because I had never done it. And, thankfully we had Whitworth and Fitz, who also were first year out and had
hmm
never done it. So we kind of like just formed a
yeah.
little
Got to play
brotherhood
off
of
of each
guys.
other. Yeah,
Exactly. Like, we don't
yeah,
know what we're doing. So let's just get up there and do
yeah.
it.
Have fun with it.
Yeah. And
I think
it's
that's a
worked
big
out
part of
really
it
good.
too, though. You keep it organic, and people can feel that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I would say. If you have something you're really passionate about, and that you feel like after the game is done you really want to pursue, then start pursuing it. And not that your career is going to end anytime soon, but
hmm
it just gives you peace of mind that you have something to lean on when you're done. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there is anxiety in the unknown.
hmm Yeah, and yeah, that's actually something that I'm gonna echo what you just said just now. It's actually something some of my older brother Eric used to tell me. And that, young guys in the league, first, second, some even third year players, take care of what's important right now. That's football, keep bread on the table, all of that. But once you start, I, I wouldn't say getting comfortable, but when you start like knowing the game and you start knowing concepts, and maybe you use your time a little bit better to where you have some extra time to start trying to build for what's next. Because I watched my older brother go through it, and it is so much easier to meet people as a current player than it is as a former player. You know what I mean? So just trying to do that, but it's still unknown though once you actually at that point, what it's like to actually go through, you know.
And the things that you've done matter. Like, you're two-time Super Bowl champion right now, potentially 3-time, and so that stuff matters. And sometimes you're like, man, I don't want to use all that. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, it's not something you was given to you. I mean, this
Yeah.
was earned. So maximize the value of the things that you've earned. And I think some people just get so caught up in, man, I don't know, I don't want to do all that. Well, then what was the point of winning it if I
Yeah.
can't walk around with the title and feel good about it? I can't wear the rings and let them benefit me and get me indoors that I might not have gotten into without them. Get me speaking engagements that I might not have gotten without 2 rings, because now I know how to be a champion. And
Yeah.
no matter what, winning culture translates throughout every industry.
Yeah. Everybody wants a piece of it.
Everybody wants to know what the formula was. What did made it tick? And you're a smart enough human being, obviously a Stanford man,
Yeah.
to be able to
Shout out my brother.
articulate. We should have got your brother too, but that's a story for a different day.
It's close. Draft day, Harbaugh actually said, "Wow, I didn't get you in college, but you don't have a choice now."
You don't got a dang choice.
Yeah.
So we should have had you. We could have had something special, Eric. No, that's been my TED talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I really challenge you and whoever runs your marketing or helps with you getting opportunities, say you want speaking engagements because they want to hear. And the more you do it, the more people are going to want to hear you do it, because it really helps these companies, especially startups. I've
Yeah.
spoken to so many startups and they're like, how do we build a good culture? And for us, it's so routine and regimented. It's the things you said. It's the selflessness.
Yeah.
It's the lack of ego. It's the, whatever it takes to win kind of ordeal that they just don't know. They never played team sports.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely
And
gonna get on that.
right. Got to. It's a lot of money in that. What was the other question? I think I might answer both of them.
Now you answered both of them. First one was the chess one. You said,
Oh
yeah.
We're gonna get to that chess, but I've always been a big fan of you, and I'm so proud of everything you've been able to do, and proud of you winning. Not as happy as you beating our Niners in the Super Bowl, but you know what I mean. And I was like, golly, it just, you know what I mean. You got one,
Yeah.
but
shut it up. No, it's all mine. It's all mine.
It's mine again. Hey, get one.
Yeah.
But it's been an incredible journey, and I'm happy for you. A perfect fit and a perfect system, and I wish you nothing but more success.
All love and respect, my brother. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.